Hey everyone, and welcome back to That Engineering Girl. Today, as part of my design course series, we're going to be setting up Jira together. Now, I previously mentioned that I'm the PM of my design course this semester, and so the main responsibility of a PM is to keep the project on track and on schedule to meet the deadlines. So, to make sure that my project is on schedule and will be meeting deadlines, I've decided to use Jira, which is a project management service, if you want to call it that. I do have previous experience with Jira. It was used at my last internship for my team. I thought it was an absolutely wonderful tool, and I thought it was very, very helpful in the way it was designed and the way my PM made it work for us. So I'm going to be using a similar method, organization structure in order to help my project move along this semester and for my team to be successful this semester. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, hello and welcome to the voiceover. Welcome to my screen. So I've already created a Jira account, and now it's just asking me to invite my teammates and asking me for some preferences here. I've already checked them off, so we're just going to click continue. Now I'm just going to input some selections for my team that I think will work. And after I actually spend a lot of time deciding between features and support, going back and forth, I'm going to finally select features and move on with my life. So now we just have to select a template for the actual board. So I was actually stuck between Kanban and Scrum. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the what's in this and kind of scroll through what they offer. And they're mostly similar, but just because Scrum offers more functionality, I would say, and more ways to track. That's why I chose Scrum. So I'm going to just create a key, a name for the project, and go ahead and click create. So then once I hit create, we see the Jira board pop up and the Jira quick start come on to the right hand side. I'm just scrolling through it really quickly, and I'll actually go through it and see a few tips and tricks. So we see the create an issue feature at the very top. I'm just kind of exploring at this point and going through what's offered. So the roadmap, I eventually discovered that it's for managing epics and understanding some progress and so on and so forth. I use this minimally, but here and there more so to just manage epics and kind of large chunks of work too, as really as tags in the work that we're doing. But just exploring this section for now. So then I move on to the backlog, active sprints, report. So there's the burn down chart, and that's particularly why I was interested in this, but we haven't actually used this yet, so we'll see how useful that is. And once again, you can see me scrolling through all the different reports that are offered, all the different options. And actually, I'll first go through the settings and actually create the columns that I want for the board based off of how I want the team's workflow to be. So I'm adding a review column, or that was actually a review status. So you actually need to add a column named review. And then you can see it actually pop up right there. So then I add another column called testing, click create, and then also add a status. And here I am, as you can see, debating between testing and in test. So then I renamed that to in review. And then I go back and change it to in testing. This is a bit confusing, and it still is, but I haven't had to go back and look into it. But it's weird how you need a status and a column of the same name to get it to work. As you can see, I'm just going through the project settings, just looking around and seeing what's offered for the board. Once again, going back to the actual board, kind of figuring out the nuances of the software itself and how to actually get it to work for me. So now you'll see me create a test ticket. So I set the issue type to task. Now I'm just thinking of a summary name, putting in a pseudo description, if you want to call it that. This is actually an actual task that I was assigned, so not necessarily a pseudo task, but I'm just testing the create an issue feature. So when I'm finally happy with this description, I move on, assign it to myself, don't really care about the reporter. Just kind of looking around at the different types of tags that I can have in Jira and the priority levels and so on and so forth. Kind of exploring between labels, sprints, epic links, and so on and so forth. As you can see, I created, but then I noticed it doesn't actually show up on the actual board. So then I'm kind of testing around and kind of seeing what's going on. So I try to first create a version, and I put in some dates and so on and so forth. So once I've created the version, I then realize it doesn't actually still allow me to see the ticket on the actual board. So then I poke around again. I do see it in the backlog, and then I eventually figure out that I need to create a sprint. So once I create the sprint and I actually move the ticket into the sprint section, I'll notice it actually pop up once I hit start sprint. So now you can see me discovering that feature or that step, and then I named the sprint, the start date, set the end date. Times don't really matter here to me, and then I added a sprint goal that was satisfactory for now. So this was actually our goal for this a week and a half to complete the design review document that we were assigned as part of our course. So I just set that as a description, start the sprint, and then you can see the card actually pop up on the board. So then I go back and I actually delete this version, or I just leave it actually, because it doesn't really matter to me. We're not going to really be using it. And then I go around kind of exploring the different things related to the card itself. So for example, I'm kind of saying, okay, well, I can comment, I can edit the description, I see all these different labels on the side. What do I want to see right away? What do I not want to see right away? Do I really care about the fixed version? No, not really. So I think I eventually actually get rid of seeing that on the side. And now you can see me moving it back and forth, kind of just getting a feel for the software. So then I go back and actually delete the version. Alright, so that was my quick setup of Jira. I'm sure I'm going to be playing around with it more, kind of moving some things around, the filtering that I'd like to see and so on and so forth. But I hope this helped you out into getting an insight into how I'm going to be setting my PMing up for this semester and how my kind of preferences are and how you can actually utilize some free softwares as well to organize your projects. So hopefully this video helped you out. I hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.